So, as we could hear, you do have high standards regarding your interviews. You've been doing this for a long time. Do you think there has been a lot of development? Are there many journalists you'd consider equally good? Presuming you are a good journalist, which is what I'm stating here, you're a good journalist. Do you think there are many other good journalists? There have been many more who do video interviews. Do you think they are ready to do this? Are they really proper journalists, or is there still a long way to go for them?
First of all, it is very difficult for me to put myself in a position where I judge people that do the same thing. I don't think I should be doing that. I think somebody else should be doing that. Especially that if you compare yourself to somebody, you either get bitter or you get unnecessarily arrogant. Either of the two. If you feel yourself better than others, you're going to end up arrogant, or bitter if you feel that you're worse than somebody else. I prefer not to compare myself to others or not to compare others to me, but I do know journalists who do a very good job at interviewing people. I mean, you do a very good job. I personally think so.
I wasn't trying to get a compliment out of this.
I know you were not fishing for compliments, but what I'm saying is there are people that do it very well, and I'm not going to give names. I'm not going to compare myself to anyone or anyone to me. I think that is pointless. But obviously, it's a matter of doing it a couple of times. I mean, the first time over, I couldn't walk up to a guy and just pop up questions out of the top of my head and do an interview. Now I could do that, and it would turn out pretty decently. And one other thing is having character. If you don't have character, if you don't show it on camera somehow, you don't have to be lively and wild, but you need to show some character for the viewers to like you. You need to have character to do good interviews, in my opinion. And there are people out there that have the character and have the potential to be great, and some others who either lack it or don't know how to express it.
Your gaming roots are in the UT scene. You've moved on to interviewing people in far other genres. So, would you say it is necessary to be an expert in the game to do a good interview with someone who plays that game?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. I mean, I could talk to Grubby, I could interview Grubby, and I wouldn't be able to ask him a really deep and profound question about gameplay. Obviously, I'm in a position where I have to cover many games, so I choose to focus on the more the psychological aspect of gaming. Whether it's difficult for a person, I focus on the struggle. I focus on the, I don't know, mental war between players and that kind of thing. I try that. Obviously, if you don't know enough about gameplay, which I can safely say I don't know enough about World of Warcraft, because you need to play the game. You need to really play the game to at a very high level in order to really take good interviews from people. I can do it in Quake, I can do it in Unreal Tournament, but in other games and any other interviewer can say this. I mean, somebody is from StarCraft and he can ask why this moment to attack, not the other. I couldn't do that, and the same the other way around. I could ask a Quake player why he chose to do this or that, where somebody else couldn't notice it. So it's a difficult world. Games change, journalists stay. Obviously, you would have to build a reputation from zero if you came from the, let's say, Call of Duty community. I'm not saying it's impossible, but then the game will change as well, and you have to adapt. The way I adapted, as I said, was by focusing on the human side more or less, not the gameplay itself. Although I do prefer to know exactly everything that's going on in the game. I feel very comfortable in Quake and less so in other games. But such is life. I mean, DJ Wheat or you, when you commentate on games, when you're a shoutcaster, there are some games you will know very well, some games you will only know what's going on the screen, but you will not get every single bit of, you know, all the interesting aspects. And that's why you have co-commentators.